Welcome back. Now we need to attach the motors to the frame. Before we select the motors, we need to know what these motors are going to do to our drone. The motors provide the power required to lift our drone in the air. We can use two types of motors, brushed DC motor and brushless DC motors. Brushed DC motors are used in low-cost drones and small toys, and brushless DC motors are used in bigger sized drones such as the racing drones. The reason for this is the commutators used in the brushed DC motors, which would wear out faster. Besides being quite efficient and long-lasting, the brushless DC motors, also known as BLDC, requires a complex drive circuitry. We need to select the propeller blade first before selecting the motors. This is because of the limitation that a particular frame requires only a specific sized propeller blade. So let's select the propeller blades first. The supported propellers for our 250mm frame are of two sizes, 5 or 6 inches. I am going to select the 5-inch propeller. There are different blade configurations in these propellers. For example, there are configurations of 2, 3, 4 and 5 blades available. The propeller size and the different blade configuration that we select would increase or decrease the thrust that the motors generate. For example, if we use a big sized propeller, its larger surface area will enable it to cut more air. But the big size propellers will not respond so quickly as we expect. Because of its larger surface area, they will move more air and so will only be able to give a stable flight. When it comes to racing, small sized propellers are the preferred option. When we use a smaller sized propeller, it cuts less air, but we will be able to get greater control. When we perform certain stunts in the air, these smaller propellers do respond faster. So these are an ideal choice for our racing drones. When we use such small size propellers, the power consumption will be less because we will not load the motors much. So we can use a less powerful battery like the 3S or the 4S, which I will be explaining later. Even in the smaller propellers we use, if we need more thrust, we can increase the number of blade configurations. Or if we need less thrust, we can reduce the number of blades. There are certain trade-offs in all these choices. Serious racers select the 2-blade configuration. Because we will be using our drone for mile racing, let's select the tri-blade configuration. I have procured 4 propeller blades costing me 280 rupees. These blades come in different materials such as the polycarbonate, plastic, carbon fiber, etc. I have selected polycarbonate because it's a less expensive choice. If you want to reduce the cost further, you can order plastic too. Another interesting point to note here is that it has CW, which is clockwise, and CCW, which is counterclockwise rotating propellers. If you want to understand why the 2 propellers must rotate clockwise and the other 2 propellers must rotate anti-clockwise, you need to understand the physics behind the drone. We all know that a quadcopter has 4 motors and 4 propellers. When these 4 motors rotate fast, they generate thrust. This thrust will generate a lift due to the air getting pushed down by the propellers, making the drone float in the air. When the thrust becomes more, that is, as the speed of the motor increases, the drone loses its weight and floats higher in the air. If the drone must come down, all we need to do is to reduce the speed of the motor, that is, reduce the thrust. Theoretically speaking, if the drone's weight is 1 kg, then all the motors put together must provide at least 2 kg of thrust to make the drone hover in the air. Technically, we call this thrust to weight ratio. If we increase this ratio, then we can perform more complex maneuvers. Certain serious racers go for the ratio of 5:1 or even 10:1. We'll discuss this in more detail when we talk about motors. For now, let's focus a little more on physics. According to physics, any moving object with a mass has a momentum. For example, a motor is traveling at a speed of 30 km per hour has a momentum. And we can even calculate this mathematically. We can also call this the linear momentum. Similarly, for objects that rotate, there is something called the angular momentum. For example, let's consider a rotating wheelchair. We can attach a spinning wheel to the wheelchair. Let's now spin the wheel in the clockwise direction and tilt the wheel in the horizontal direction. Notice that when the wheel starts rotating in a particular direction, the structure too rotates but in the opposite direction. The reason for this is the angular momentum. If we need to find the angular momentum of this rotating wheel, we can use the right hand rule. As depicted in the screen, when we point our right hand in the direction the wheel rotates, the direction that our thumb points to is the wheel's angular momentum. In our case, we can consider this as a constant, let's say +2. Law of conservation of angular momentum will help us understand this motion better. According to this law, the overall angular momentum of this system must be 0. But we have already considered plus 2 as the value for the spinning wheel L1. To counteract this angular momentum, the body with the attached disc will rotate in the opposite direction, theoretically with an angular momentum of minus 2, L2 as mentioned here. So the angular momentum of the overall system is 0. This is how nature works. Anyway, there is a correlation between the example we just saw and our drone. We have 4 motors and 4 propellers in the quadcopter. When the 4 motors rotate in the same direction, the drone's body rotates in the opposite direction. As we increase the throttle, the drone will keep flying higher and there will not be any issue with the drone moving up or down. So to avoid this rotation, we need to cancel out the angular momentum of the body. All we need to do is to arrange the motors in a particular combination. Let's see how to do that. If the motors 1 and 4 rotate in a clockwise direction, motors 2 and 3 need to rotate in an anti-clockwise direction. If we do this, we can keep the total angular momentum as 0, thereby keeping the drone stable. You might have a question here. Because each of the 2 sets of propellers are rotating in the opposite direction, you might wonder if this would affect the overall thrust generated by the motors. The answer is, the thrust would not get affected because the propellers have been designed specifically to address this issue. I'll discuss this in more detail when I attach these propellers. For now, let's see what the basic movements of the drone are. Let's consider our drone to be stable in air. If I want to rotate my drone towards the right side, what should I do? The answer lies in the angular momentum that we discussed a short while ago. Now, at a fixed position, if I need to rotate my drone towards the right side, that is, in the clockwise direction, I reduce the speed of the rotation of the clockwise motors. Hence, the body automatically gains angular momentum and makes the drone rotate in the clockwise direction. But there is a catch here. If I reduce the speed, this would reduce the overall thrust and as a result, the drone would start falling. While the drone is rotating in the clockwise direction, and if we need to stop it from falling, all we need to do is to increase the thrust of the motor rotating in the anti-clockwise direction. The more we reduce the thrust of the motors and the more we compensate that reduction by increasing the thrust of the opposite propellers, the more stable the drone will be in the air. If we need to make the drone rotate at a fixed position in the anti-clockwise direction, we need to do the opposite of what we did earlier. Here, we need to reduce the speed of the anti-clockwise motors and increase the speed of the motor rotating in the clockwise direction. Thus, the drone will start rotating in the anti-clockwise direction. Fine, that was about rotation. Now how do we make the drone move? How do we move it forward, backward, left or right without rotation? The arrows in the drone are now pointing towards the forward direction. If I need to make the drone to come towards me, I need to make it move in the backward direction. That's simple. If I reduce the speed of the backward motors of the drone and increase the speed of the forward motors, a tilt is created in the backward direction and the drone starts moving towards the tilted direction. That's for the backward movement. Now, what do we do for a forward movement? All we need to do is reverse the process. We need to reduce the speed of the motors in the front side and increase the speed of the motors in the back side. The drone will tilt forward and start moving in the forward direction. The same process applies to the left and right movements as well. It's quite difficult to manually apply all these processes to the drone. We need to supply the proper voltage, current and power to the motors in a timely manner. The inputs from devices such as the accelerometer and gyroscope has to be taken into account, and also the input provided by us. Because all these things are happening in a timely manner and it's a complex process, we are provided just with a few basic controls and leaving the flight controller to manage the entire process. We can give 4 different types of inputs to control our drone. That is throttle, pitch, roll and yaw. Pitch is what we discussed earlier. If we pitch towards the backward side, the drone will tilt backwards and move. If we pitch towards the forward side, the drone will tilt forward and move in the forward direction. So, this type of motion is controlled by giving pitch as the control input. Yaw can be used to control the drone's rotation. Roll is used to move the drone towards the left or right side. We call this motion as rolling. Through throttle, we can speed up the motors and increase the overall thrust to make the drone fly higher and higher, or you can reduce the throttle input, thereby reducing the overall thrust that reduces the speed of the motors to make the drone come down. So these are the basic controls of the drone. Let's stop this video right here, and in the upcoming videos we will talk in detail about how to select the motors, how to assemble them, and how to attach the propellers to the motors. Thanks for watching this video. See you again.